Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Legends of Sport podcast presented by Fujifilm. I'm your host, Andy Bernstein. Our guest on this week's episode is NFL legend Todd Gurley. Todd and I first met in the Lakers training room following one of Kobe's final games in 2016. Todd came in with former Rams star and Hall of Famer Eric Dickerson. And he and I have stayed in touch and became friends from that epic meeting with the Mamba. Todd was a stellar three-sport athlete in high school. He chose football and went on to a tremendous career at the University of Georgia. He was then drafted by the St. Louis Rams with the 10th pick in the 2015 draft. Todd and I discussed the Rams' strange lame duck season in St. Louis in his rookie year, and the franchise's subsequent move to Los Angeles, where he excelled. After a one-year stint with the Atlanta Falcons during the COVID season in 2020, Todd abruptly retired from professional football after only 6 seasons. We talk about what precipitated that decision. Todd is a big family guy, who is now a girl dad, by the way, with his daughter about to turn 1 year old. He's also a big sports fan in general and loves attending games in LA and everywhere he travels. Really great catching up with Todd Gurley on this episode. I hope you all enjoy it. And as always, I'll see you on the backside. So welcome Todd Gurley to the Legends of Sport podcast presented by Fujifilm. Todd, it's been a while, man, since I've been chasing you, but I got you now.
And
I
we
appreciate
here.
it.
We're here. How you doing today?
I'm good, man. Hey, listen, thanks so much for jumping on. You and I became friends, and I was trying to go back, but I think it was when we met in the locker room at the Lakers locker room. I think it was the first time you and
With
I
Eric Dickerson?
with Eric Dickerson, when you went in to say hi to Kobe after one of his last games during the failed World
against LeBron.
Against
When
LeBron.
he was with the Cavs. Yep.
No way. I didn't realize it was that game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was crazy. Well, tell me, how did you, first of all, how did your relationship with Eric start? Because, Eric was one of the first guests on the podcast 7-8 years ago. And, one of the great guys ever. And I shot his career too, by the way. But how did you guys become friends? I know you were with the Rams, of course, but how did that all come about?
Yeah, I think it was more of a thing of ED just reaching out and just like, obviously, welcome the Rams to LA because him being a former Ram and still living in LA.
Right.
And so honestly, I don't really remember, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I feel like it was just one of those things where he reached out and, he invited me to a game and I pretty much was like, yeah, of course, like I'm gonna go to a game with ED. And then I remember when I went to the game with him and like all the respect he was getting, from the OGs and people behind the scene. I'm like, okay, ED is the man.
Yeah.
Like, and this was my going into my second year. I mean, I know my history of sports and all that stuff, but I mean, I knew ED was the man. I didn't know he was the man as much as I did at that time. And as I grew older and wiser and, had a lot more respect for the game, period. Like it kept growing and then he would say, oh, it's funny. So Eric would always do a cookout barbecue at his place once the rookies got drafted.
Is that right?
So I went over there probably once or twice and
interesting.
I don't know. I think he just always asked about my mom and my family and all that stuff, just good people stuff. And, him just being like big brother to me. Like it just good people, man. He just always just been good people. It's never been no hate because you know how it is in the sports business. It's like someone can say something and it's like, as the athlete, we take it to heart because it's coming from a certain player, but sometimes they may just be doing their job or they just may be saying what's real at the time. So
I got you.
So I never kind of got none of that from him, and it was just a lot of respect that I had for him and just the way he carried himself and how he pretty much told me to go about my business and just everything.
Yeah, like a big brother, a mentor. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
great. So let's talk about that time, man. All of a sudden you're at this game, and then you're in the locker room with the Mamba
yeah,
on the
yeah,
farewell tour,
yeah.
and I didn't know it was LeBron's game against the
Hmm.
Cavs. And I'm in there. It was just the four of us there, and, I went in every game during that farewell tour on the road and at home, and I wasn't listening obviously to the conversation, but was it sort of a deep conversation, or was it, I don't want you to divulge anything that was
Yeah,
secret, but what was that? Was that the first time you met Kobe? And
first time,
man, that
first
must have been
time.
amazing for you. Yeah.
Um, the kids were in there. His wife was in there. So I was,
Right. Okay.
and then ED had a basketball. He had bought a basketball to get signed. So I'm like, dang, looking back at that, I'm like, idiot, I should have had something. But
Right.
honestly, I was just like lost for words. I was
Yeah.
kind of lost for words. I'm looking around. I'm like, and I'm just thinking about all my friends from back home in North Carolina.
Mhm.
And everybody, I'm just
Yeah.
talking with him. And then, mostly it was about California,
Uh-huh.
moving from Missouri to California. First thing Cove said was taxes. He's like, he like the taxes. I was like, man,
You
don't
always
don't
hear,
get me
man,
don't
business
get me
mind.
started in here. Don't get me started. But he was like, hey, it's gonna be worth it. You see this weather? I'm like, yeah, I'm sure it is. So, and then he was just just talking about how he just couldn't be waiting to be done. I think it was a couple of more games left, and
Yeah.
I just was just sitting there quiet and just really just looking around, like almost just shocked and like, man,
Yeah.
looking back at my life also at that same time where it's like, boy, I don't know what you did to get in this room, but whatever you did, like, the man upstairs bless you for sure. So
Yeah.
it was just, super quick conversations, got a pick, and
Mhm.
I was really looking at him and ED, to be honest with you, like seeing their conversation and just seeing how much respect Kobe had for ED.
Mhm.
Like, I was like, dang, okay,
Yeah.
ED is a legend. That's when I went to go do my homework. I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
1,800 yards as a rookie, broke the rushing record his second year in the league. I'm just like, hey, this dude is a beast. Like, he did all this his first 2, 3 years in the league.
Yeah, and Kobe obviously knew the stats because was a student of every game.
Yeah.
Even though he was an Eagles fan, but I don't think you guys took that out on him too much. So that's that's okay.
No, it's all good. I'm a adopted Eagles fan also with all my Bulldogs being over
Hey,
there right
that's
now.
right.
And just like I said, the love of the game that I have for a guy like Saquon to
Sure.
go from one of the worst situations to champion, the next
Amazing.
year. So,
Amazing.
you can't help but root for that.
Absolutely. I have a daughter who lives in Philly, and I became a vicarious Eagles fan, rooting for them. My best friend's a Cowboys fan, so it was an interesting year. um, so you
Always
talk.
an interesting year for them.
Uh, they haven't done squat in a long time, and that's okay with me. Um, Todd, let's go back, man, because I was trying to learn about your history as much as I could. And I know you were born in Baltimore. When did you move to North Carolina? How old were you?
I'm not sure the age, but probably, early 2000s, probably 2001,
Okay.
2002. Yeah, around that time. Had
Yeah.
moved to Rocky Mount, North Carolina.
Right. And
And then
mhm. Yeah.
in the around elementary, maybe second grade,
Right. And
third grade.
of course, a phenomenal athlete. You were three-sport athlete in high school. Um, True that you didn't really plan to play football in high school? Like your brother talked you into it? What's the story with that?
Yeah, so football. No, I played football so much, right?
Yeah.
But I always played defense. I played defense my whole life. So
Ah,
growing up in Baltimore, I was on Pop Warner,
uh-huh.
but I was playing quarterback, and then I always played defense. But when I moved to North Carolina,
Yeah.
um, you know, I didn't know what was going on in the area, right? So one of my friends, he was on a football team, and I used to catch a ride from him. So I always played football, even Pop Warner, elementary,
Hmm.
but I never played offense.
It's
I
wild.
never played offense. I was always like a backup. I was always like a backup running back and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
I really started to fall in love with with basketball, like basketball is my favorite sport. I grew up a Melo fan,
Really?
a Duke fan,
Yeah.
not even knowing they were in North Carolina till later on down the line.
It's funny. Yeah.
So I just kind of got tired of playing football, and I was like, you know what? This is around the time when Derrick Rose coming out of Chicago, and
Mm.
he was going into Memphis,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, man, if I could work hard and do this, like, I'm like, I could possibly do what Derrick's doing,
Mm.
and I just wanted to focus on my game, and
Yeah.
so what happened was I had to do some after school work.
Uh-huh.
And I never had a ride. I never had a ride. I always caught rides from my from my teammates or
Right.
their parents and stuff like that. So I'm like, all right, I know the football team is practicing. I'll just go out there, wait for them to get done with practice, and then I'll just ask for a ride. And talking to the coaches, they ended up, talking me into like coming to play. And I was like, man, this is what I wasn't trying to do, but
Right. Right.
hey, it all ended up working out for me, in the long run.
Oh, no
Yeah,
kidding. But
yeah.
but
So
you
I came in like halfway during the season, my high school year,
yeah.
my freshman year in high school. I had like number 87 or something. I was like a DN and
You were like Gronk?
backup quarterback. Yeah, it was just
That's funny. But
yeah,
the what I understood was that the offense was pretty set, right? So you had to play defense because there was really no room for you in the offense at that point. So then what happened? Then
yeah.
they just
Well, I was on
decided,
JV. I was
yeah.
on JV at that point.
Oh,
So
okay.
my school, that's when I got there, that's when we started to win. It
Ah,
wasn't because of me, like
yeah.
the program was starting to take off and be, who it was. So
Yeah.
yeah, to that point, it was like because we ran like the
Hmm.
old school wishbone. We called it a T,
Hmm.
but it's kind of like the wishbone. So they
Yeah.
still run that same offense till today.
That's
And
great.
I think they just won a championship
Uh, uh,
this year. So
mm,
yeah, everything was pretty much set. A lot of guys was already kind of,
mhm,
making their mark in the offense. And we started winning. We did have a guy, Sean Drone,
mhm,
played running back. He went to the NFL and he played at UNC.
mhm,
And then
mhm.
he went to the Niners. I think that's
Yeah.
where he did his longest stint from. So being able to see that, but I just kind of love football, period, though,
Yeah. Yeah.
because that's the thing to do, right? Everybody's
Mhm.
playing. If you're not playing, you're just at the house. So
Yeah.
that's really what it came down to.
That's awesome. But you were also a world-class sprinter and hurdler, right? I mean, like
Yeah,
world-class. So did the 2016 Olympics ever like enter into your mind? Like I could compete with these dudes or what?
it's funny, man. I want to say my guy. I think he played for the Eagles also. Devin Allen.
Hmm. Yeah, I
He
know.
went to Oregon,
Okay.
and I don't know if he actually made the Olympic team, but
Yeah.
he actually told me that I beat him when we were in high school.
Is that right?
So
Was he a hurdler or a sprinter?
the hurdler, he was a
Hurdler.
hurdler. He was a hurdler.
What
So
was your what was
I
your
was
race?
a
What was your race? Your
I
favorite?
was 110 hurdles.
Ah.
So when I first started off doing how I got into track was one of my football coaches. He said, "You look like you're a hurdler." I'm like, "What does that even mean?" So I go out there and I just
Funny.
started doing hurdles. Obviously, I did the 300 hurdles because that's pretty easy, right? You just run and you just step over some hurdles.
Easy for
Did
you,
the
yeah.
one, yeah, I did the 110. I didn't know anything about hurdles. I think
Mhm.
my first meet was maybe 18, 19 seconds.
Uh,
And then I was competing. And by the end of the season, I was competing for a state championship.
yeah, yeah.
And the guy that I lost to in the state championship, I was beating him all year. And which, this is me having an excuse, but, tripped over a hurdle and
Uh,
ended up coming like, I don't even know what place I came in. But
that
yeah, I just
did that
did.
crush did that crush the dream? Like you like nah, I don't want to do
Nah, because I won the next year.
yeah,
Yeah, I came
I
back and
love it.
won the next year. I came back and won the next year.
Yeah.
Honestly, I just started to fall in love with it, and it was a guy named Big Dave. He did what are those like ANU track teams and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess he had heard about me and
Mm-hmm.
he wanted me to compete in like like New Balance Nationals and all that different type of stuff. So I did that. I never practiced for any of this stuff. Like during the season I did, but like
Yeah.
not in the off season. So I guess we go down to South Carolina to Myrtle Beach to like the Olympic trials or whatever.
Yeah.
Had no idea. Like all I know is like I got a track meet. I wake up, I'm doing real track workouts. I'm mad. I'm super mad because I'm with real like track coaches now.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
teaching me all that stuff. And then I end up coming first place.
Oh,
And then I found out we had to go to France to compete in like the World Youth Olympics.
yeah.
And I did that. I made it for the 110 hurdles.
You did.
I think my fastest time was like 1386.
Yeah.
And I was my own hurdle coach too,
That's
by the way.
crazy. I mean, no coach like sort of you caught their eye and like, wow, we could really develop this kid. But
Yeah.
it didn't occur to you that maybe that's your path is to go into track and go to the Olympics and all that stuff? I guess not. Because
No,
yeah.
honestly, at that time, at that meet, and at that time where I went over to
Hmm.
France for the USA team,
Hmm.
this when I really found out that people really love track.
Mm.
And I kind of felt guilty because it was like I was the football guy.
Mm.
I didn't even have a real routine. I just kind of happened to be good at it, not like the best
Yeah.
like those people, but
Right.
they really taught me like how to take it serious. But I really love the relationships with track
Mm.
because football, you can, you just see someone before and after the game. Like track, you can hang around all day, kind of get people's stories. Um, and a lot of people, just really worked hard at it. And
Well,
And I
you
didn't
would.
want to run all year just to compete for 4 year after 4 years for the Olympics and then lose too. So yeah, it
Well,
just
like I can understand that, and
yeah.
your destiny was for football. Obviously, you must have had a tremendous senior season because you get drafted. Well, not drafted. You get recruited pretty hard. You end up at Georgia, right? A
Yeah,
Bulldog, where
yeah,
you
yeah,
know
yeah.
you like they've got some pretty big shoes to fill. The legendary Herschel Walker, coming out of the backfield there.
I didn't even know who that was when
Get
they said
out of
it.
here! Is that
When
right?
they came to my school, they said
That's funny.
my
Yeah.
coach called like Georgia called. I'm like, okay, like I'm not going to Georgia, right? And then they said he came like the next day and he
Yeah.
said Herschel Walker, and I was like, who?
Oh, Todd.
So I had to do my
Probably better that
research and
you
my
didn't know.
history
Yeah.
and all that. Yeah.
Really? That's funny. Well, you had a great career at Georgia. The Bulldogs were amazing, right? You get drafted number 10 in 2015 by the Rams, who at that point were in St. Louis. So
Yep.
this is something I got to know. So you go to St. Louis, and
Mhm.
they're literally a lame duck team. I mean, they're out of there. Like the bags are packed. And what was
Yeah.
that experience like? Because you're going from rabid. I mean, I've been to Georgia games. My
Yeah.
stepmom is all from Atlanta, and they beyond rabid. I mean, they're like insane down there, right? Like any big college football town. But then you go to St. Louis, and like basically nobody kind of gives a crap. They're either angry that the team's leaving
Hmm.
or they're not supporting the team. What was that feeling like?
Man, it was a little weird. It was a
Yeah.
little weird because you know what, 10 years ago those guys was going to Super Bowls and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Now they was like almost the laughing stock of the league.
Yeah.
Um
Hmm.
I know it was some controversy, or it's like I know if it was up to the owner, like we were gone the next day.
You're
But
right.
everything kind of had to get approved by the other owners
Right. There
and
was
all
like
that.
all
So
kinds of court things going back and forth. Yeah.
yeah, so they kind of told us like, hey, don't buy anything, just rent, and we'll see what happens next year. And
Yeah.
then I remember I was in St. Louis, um, and I was on ESPN watching. I think I had to do like some rehab stuff right after the season, and
Hmm.
that's when the commissioner came on and said we was moving to LA. And I'm like, I was just like, hey, let's
Yeah.
do it. Let's
Yeah.
do it. Because I went to LA on spring break in college.
Uh-huh.
And I told myself, I'm like, I don't know what you need to do to get here,
Yeah.
but whatever you're going to do, like, you got to get here. So
Yeah.
it
That's
ended
so
up
great.
all working out.
Yeah, for sure. Yes, but then I'm thinking the first year, 2 years, I guess, right? In LA while the building's
Yeah.
SoFi. You guys are playing at the Coliseum, is that right?
Yeah, at the Coliseum. Yep,
Which
at
has
the
got a lot of
Coliseum.
history. I actually used to shoot Rams games when Eric played in the Coliseum, believe it or not, before they even moved to Anaheim.
Oh,
Um,
wow. I didn't
yeah,
even know he played at the Coliseum.
I'm
I thought
pretty
he just
sure.
played in
I
Anaheim.
might be wrong, but I do remember shooting Raiders and Rams games on Sundays, either one or the other at the Coliseum.
Yeah.
And Saturdays was either USC or UCLA at the Coliseum before UCLA.
Oh, UCLA
Rose
used to
Bowl.
play there
They
too?
did before they went to the
Oh.
Rose Bowl. I'm really dating myself, man. But but yeah, so like these three things stick out to me, man. It's like you get drafted into this lame duck situation in St. Louis, then you're coming out to LA, playing in a temporary stadium, and then after your LA career is over, you go to Atlanta and you're playing during COVID. Right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just,
yeah, yeah,
have
yeah.
you stepped back and kind of thought, wow, I kind of did all three of these really bizarre
Hmm.
things in my career?
Nah, for sure, for sure. A lot of
Yeah.
people, that's what a lot of people always be like, oh, how was Atlanta? I said, man,
Yeah.
it was COVID. It was COVID.
There's
Like,
nobody
but it was
there.
the COVID, like, it was like the no vaccine, COVID.
I
So it was like
remember.
the
Yeah.
very, yeah. So nobody, it was like, oh, yeah. I'm like, yeah, it didn't even really count. Because
No.
it was like a no brainer, right? After getting, cut from the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really even get to enjoy like the free agency part because Atlanta ended up calling. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no brainer. I went to Georgia.
Yes, you're going home,
Like,
basically. Yeah.
exactly. So,
Yeah.
and then whatever, all that.
That's
And
just crazy.
nothing worked out how it did, but it was definitely an interesting season, that COVID season.
Yeah, it was
Just
so
period
bizarre.
between everybody.
Yeah, I didn't go to any football games, but I did shoot Kings hockey games. Imagine the empty Staples Center and they're playing an actual game,
Yeah.
and there's nobody there. I mean, literally empty arena, and the horn goes off. Kings score, horns goes off, and like I'm the only guy clapping. You know,
Yeah. It was
it was
like
so
practice.
weird. Yeah, it was
It was
just
almost like practice, but in a
yeah,
live arena. I
yeah,
got a question
yeah,
actually.
yeah.
So how come
Mm,
why everybody say the bubble championship don't count, but
right.
how come the football championship counts and hockey and MLB everybody else ones count except for the bubble championship?
That's a really great question, and I hate when people insinuate that because
Yeah.
I was there. I was there in 53 days. I was in the bubble. I went
Ooh.
down for the end. I got there at the end of August, so I was there for the very end of the regular season, the restart, then all the playoffs and the finals. Right, the finals weren't until October. Um, I think it should, in my opinion, I think it should count more because the guys were ready to play every single day. They didn't have
Hey,
travel. They didn't have all the distractions of being at home and dealing with all that. And yes, that it was a very bizarre existence in the middle of Florida, at Walt Disney World, playing in front of nobody. But I mean, I think the Lakers earned that championship. I saw some great basketball down there, man.
man, it was some great
Oh,
basketball.
for
Like
sure.
great basketball. Even like the rise of like seeing Jamal Murray
Jamal
becoming,
Murray, perfect
who he
example.
was.
Yeah, for sure.
Dame was killing it. It was just a lot of people. It was
No, it's
just
great.
it was it was good.
Jimmy Butler,
Yeah.
he basically took Miami on his back into the finals, right? Um, I never want to do that again. I
Oh
mean, it
no.
was
Yeah.
it was like the most bizarre existence ever.
And you
Um,
had to test every day, pretty
every
much.
every day. So here was the deal. We went down. I went down there. Like I was the third wave of NBA photographers to go in. So
Okay.
first wave came like the week before the players came, and then they left, like 3 or 4 weeks later. Then the second wave, I was in the last wave because they wanted me to be there for the finals and everything.
Okay.
The
Okay.
first week, you have to quarantine 23 hours and 45 minutes a day in your room, which was like 10 by 12. I measured it. And they take you out for 15 minutes, two guys in hazmat suits to take you down the hall to get tested. Then they bring you back.
Oh.
and they're delivering meals to you. It's like almost like, it was almost like an incarceration type of thing, but
Yeah, I'm thinking that
it
exact
was just
same thing.
weird, man. You're middle of Florida and it's 98 degrees out with 98% humidity. And then what's even weirder, Todd, was that, we're in Walt Disney World and like you could see the Magic Kingdom, with all the castle. And there are actually people going to Disney World like COVID didn't exist. And it was like
Oh
25%
yeah, because Florida.
capacity.
Yeah, I forgot we was in
It,
Florida.
it was the weirdest
Yeah, Florida.
existence
Yeah.
ever. But the NBA pulled it off, and I was glad to come home. That's for sure. Um, so, Todd, fast forward, man, and I never asked you this. And I don't know if you ever even were asked. We probably were asked this in somebody else's interview, but you sort of abruptly retired, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you were 28, right, and 6 seasons in the
I think I
NFL.
was. I think I might have been younger than that for
Were you?
real. I think I might have been. I don't even remember.
Yeah.
I might have been 26 actually.
Oh, I was trying to do the
26.
math, but
Yeah, I might have been 26 or 27.
so what was it? You just didn't want to play anymore? It just the grind? What was it, man?
I think it was a little bit of everything, but it also was more like me doing my due diligence on the sport, right? And seeing guys like Peyton Manning get traded from the Colts,
Right.
seeing one of the best running backs in my generation, like leave the Vikings and Adrian Peterson.
Mm,
Um, Not only that, like seeing guys like LaShawn McCoy's situation, even though he ended up going to the Chiefs and going to the Bucks and stuff like that. But I
mhm,
think it was just more the grind too, and COVID. I think COVID really opened my mind up and
mhm,
my perspective because I was spending so much time with my family,
mhm,
which was something I never really, I did the family stuff, but
mhm.
I was there, but I wasn't there like mentally
Sure.
and physically, right? I'm either mad after a game or happy after a game, or I'm trying to recover, I'm sore and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
mean, minus me, messing up my knee and all that stuff. It's just like, why would I put more wear and tear? And I kind of spoke on it on other podcasts,
Hmm.
but I really think the one thing, like I could have maybe stretched it a year or two and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But I think the one thing that I really was like a clear cut answer was when I got a chance to sign with the Ravens.
Hmm.
And I'm born in Baltimore. I grew up a Ravens fan.
Hmm.
Um, and I got a chance to sign there. And I didn't really like I wasn't excited.
Ah, well,
Like
that's right.
I
I hear
should
you.
like I should have been excited. I should have been like,
Yeah.
let's go,
Yeah.
and I was just like, I was like, I was like,
You know
well,
what?
that's my sign.
That sealed the deal. I mean, Kobe said when he announced his retirement, of course, it was in 20th season and he wasn't going to play forever. But when the reporters asked, why now? Why are you doing this now? At the beginning of the season in 2015-16, he said, because I woke up the other day and didn't want to go shoot hoops for the first time in my life. And I always told myself that happened. It's time to hang it up. And
Yeah,
that was wisdom from the Mamba. And I kind of
yeah,
did that same thing, Todd, last year. I mean, 43 years on the court doing what I do. I loved it, but it was starting to really wear on me at my age too, and the grind of being on the road. And I still have one more kid in my house in high school to get her through, and I respect it. I respect that family,
yeah.
and everything revolved around my schedule and the games and where's Daddy
Hmm.
going next, and I
No, for sure.
yeah, I get it. I get it, man.
We
So
had a new CBA too. We had a new CBA, I
yeah.
think, that following year. So guys could the practice squad stuff changed because remember guys couldn't be on practice squad after
Yeah,
like
that's right.
year 3 and 4. Now you got guys year 15 on practice squad, so they can sign you and say, "Hey, we're going to bring you to the active roster." But once you're there, you
Yeah.
do whatever
Yeah, that
pretty
would have
much.
driven you
So
crazy, I'm sure.
which
Um,
yeah,
I mean,
so
I know you as a big sports fan. I mean, first of all, I follow you on Instagram, but every time I'm at something, you're there. I mean,
yeah,
this game, Clippers game, Laker game.
yeah.
I'm not gonna ask you your favorite team. You just like go to games, right?
Yeah,
You're a sports
I
fan.
just love sports, man. Yeah,
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
debating right now if I'm gonna go down there to San Antonio, watch them Blue Devils play, beat up on Houston, and then maybe Florida or Auburn after that. Whoever wants to see it.
That's
But
awesome, man. That's so great.
nah, for me, it's just, man, being like originally from Baltimore, then moving to North Carolina,
Mm-hmm.
and then now I live in LA. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm always like grateful and appreciative, but it's still like a dream and stuff that I even can't even fathom. Like, wow, like I'm at Lakers games, I'm at Clippers games, I'm at I'm at a hockey game.
Yeah,
Like
I've seen you in hockey
I
games.
don't even
Yeah.
know I'm not even supposed to know anything about hockey.
Yeah.
And then just the love and the people that work at the arenas and stuff like that too. I just, love seeing them, interacting with them.
Yeah.
But I
Well,
don't know, just seeing good ball, man, because
yeah.
you just never know. You just never know.
That's awesome, man. And you're a beloved sports figure in LA, Todd. I mean, you had a short career with the LA Rams, but you had a great
Yeah.
career. I mean, I don't have to tell you your stats, but your stats were pretty damn impressive. And you know, I think people in LA respect that, remember it. They see you, they cheered for you, and then they see you like just as a regular person enjoying the game, same game they are. So
Yeah.
I think that's awesome, man. Well, listen, man, the last thing I want to ask you, and I got to ask you this, is probably the best job in the world is being a girl dad, right? I mean, it's got to
Yeah.
be. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got three
Yeah.
daughters. I got three daughters and the son.
Yeah.
So I've been through from, from birth through college and beyond. How is it the journey for you so far? How are you enjoying it?
Honestly, it's been good. She's
Yeah.
been like super, super chill though. Like she
Yeah.
has her schedule and that's pretty much it. It's not nothing like
Yeah.
it's been a good experience, but we're really like hands on too. So
Mm-hmm.
actually like being here with her, taking her on walks,
Oh, that's beautiful, man. She's little
and
too,
just
right? How old?
yeah, what about to be a year
Oh my God,
in
already?
May. About to be a year in May. So man,
Beautiful.
it really flew by. It really flew by. But
Yeah.
my main thing that I really love about it is like being able to, for my dad or my mom, then not only that, my grandma and her
Yeah.
mom's grandma, it's like seeing that history, like
Mhm.
you got 3, 4 generations right there,
Mm.
with the baby, the mom,
Yeah.
her mother and the great mother. It's like I don't take that little stuff for granted right there because you don't never know how long somebody's gonna be here. And I just try to cherish all those moments, capture as many
Yeah.
moments with my phone or my
Hmm.
little film camera or whatever to like, because one day everybody's not gonna be here, and
Yeah.
I just wanted to. It just make me feel good, man. It just make me feel good. It's like
Yeah.
home is where the heart is.
Yeah. I love that family really comes first for you, Todd. That's great. And pretty soon you'll be taking her to games with you, and you got to get it.
Yeah, yeah,
Gotta
yeah.
get
I'm ready for
the
that.
little jersey, and all that stuff. You'll be doing all that stuff. I did all that. I loved it. And it was the best part of the job actually because when I wasn't working, the few times I wasn't working, I was able to go and enjoy games with my kids when they were little, which was the best. Um,
Yeah.
listen,
Nah,
man.
it's good, man. It's
Yeah.
definitely fun.
Listen, I'm so happy we were able to connect. You and I probably taking the game sometime soon. We probably should, because now
Yeah, man. We
now I
got the
don't have to
playoffs
sit
about to
on the
come up
floor.
now, huh?
Yeah, playoffs are coming, both teams. I mean,
Yeah.
wouldn't it be crazy to see a Lakers Clipper round? I mean, it could be in the first round if they go 4-5.
What Man, well, the Clippers messed up when they lost to the Cavs the
Yeah,
other night, and then they dropped to 8. So,
yeah, yeah.
and
But there's
then
only like a couple of games that
it's
are
like 8,
separated.
yeah, like
Yeah.
8, 7 or 8. So, yeah,
Well,
we're gonna find out. Now, I don't need them playing each other. I need them playing against the other teams because I'm trying to go see this team and that
I
team.
got
Like,
you. I'm with you, man.
yeah,
And Kings too. Kings could have a run. They had they
yeah,
they have the
yeah,
best record that home record they've ever had in their history, currently right now, which is amazing. Um, Todd, great to see you, man. Thank you for taking the
yes, sir.
time and appearing
Appreciate
on the
you.
Legends of Sport podcast. It's truly a pleasure just talking and getting to know you a little better. So thank you.
Yeah, no problem at all, man. Thank you.
Okay,
Hope
man.
you have a great rest of the day.
You too, pal. Thank you.
All right, appreciate you.
Okay, bye. Well, it was so great to catch up with the legendary Todd Gurley. A really, really fun conversation, which I hope you all enjoyed as well. Thanks, folks, for tuning in to this episode and for continuing to support the Legends of Sport podcast presented by Fujifilm. Please follow them on Instagram at FujifilmX_US. That's at FujifilmX_US. Folks, please tell all your friends to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Legends of Sport, and to our Instagram at Legends of Sport, and my photography can be found on Instagram at ADB Photo Inc. Thanks, as always, to our producer, Carlin Barker, and our terrific editors, Sean Gosser and Addison Shao. Thanks again, folks, for checking out this episode. We'll be back next week with another great episode on the Legends of Sport podcast presented by Fujifilm.